I'm Kate.
Hey, and I'm Wendy, and today we're going to talk about purpose and how it relates to how do we maintain joy and stay on track in such a difficult time. In the United States, we're going through such a difficult time. Everything feels divisive. People are feeling really depressed. I know a lot of the people that are coming into my office are talking about how do we just get through this collectively. It's an unprecedented time. I would say we were on the heels of COVID, which was, there's nothing small about having a huge pandemic. And then politically, things became really divisive.
Mhm.
And now we're some years into that. So, how do we maintain feeling purposeful, feeling hopeful, feeling joy in, taking one step in front of the other? Maybe that's just one of the answers. You just do that every day.
Yeah, I actually said that in my meditation, in my prayers this morning. It's like, "Oh, I know that there's gonna be hard things.
Mhm.
My job is to just keep putting one foot in front of the other."
That's right. That's right. That's one thing we can do, and to know that even if you don't know exactly what a primary purpose is for you now, because we talked about how that can change. Sometimes your primary purpose might be being a mother, raising your children. Sometimes it might be running a business, becoming something that you've always wanted to be, a writer, whatever that is. But it's also really important to know that whatever you're doing in the interim, if you're not feeling purposeful, which is what a lot of people are really struggling with because
Right?
it is such a difficult time. We're low on energy, and
Mhm.
this has reverberated throughout the world. And the world is checking in on us. If you notice this on Instagram, hey,
Yes.
everybody in the United States, you doing okay? We're rooting for you. Everybody doing all right? We see you, we hear you. But they're affected also when you're not exactly sure what a primary purpose or what a purpose is for you right now. I was thinking about this since the last time we spoke that it's really important to know that whatever you do, consciously do it purposefully. Do it with purpose.
Mhm.
It's almost like the mindful thing, right? You're going to just do your dishes. Doesn't feel like a great purpose to you, but we can do everything that we do with mindfulness, with purpose.
Mhm.
So, that's
Love
going to
that.
look different for other people, for different people.
Yeah.
But you're in this political arena, you're seeing all kinds of things up close.
Right. Right. And being able to affect policy and change that is immediately gonna impact the citizens, there's, um, an honor there to be in that space,
Mhm.
and at the same time, when you think, "Oh, I've got this incredible opportunity to create housing, for instance,
Uh-huh.
where my teachers and my police officers and the people that work at our local grocery store, whatever the businesses are in town, I want to create that for them because that's an important part of the fabric of our community. It's having those people not only make the impact in their job, but then being able to run into them at the grocery
Uh-huh.
store or when we're out
Uh-huh.
to dinner or just
Yes.
walking through
Yes.
town. But there are things out of our control that all of a sudden
Uh-huh.
put the brakes on that, and then it's just heavy. So even in,
Right.
you think, okay, I'm going to run for office. I'm going to get into a place where I can affect change. Sometimes at the
Mhm.
next level, no matter how hard I try, sometimes those things blow up.
Right.
But
But that's okay
that's right.
because you're not meant to do this alone.
Mhm.
We're collectively in this shit show. We can collectively get ourselves out of it. And it does start with the individual. What you're doing, Kate, is you're really bringing hope. When you're what you were just talking about, what you're really doing and attempting to do is you're bringing people hope, even if that better thing hasn't happened yet, even if that better whatever hasn't been signed yet. It's so important to maintain that hope and to know that every day, each one of us, and I say this all the time, and it makes things easier when I think this way. I don't know, tell me what you think. But I just think we can't control anyone and anything, what's really going on outside of us.
Right.
But we can show up every day and do our part, which needs to look like keeping the conversations going,
Hmm.
talking about this, not looking the other way. When you really feel passionately about something, that is good. Let me just say that is good and is going to help others and comes from a place of good intention and love. We're not talking about hate here. We're talking about how do we maintain joy and collectively start to shift the energies. Because from a spiritual perspective, and I always say this, there's nothing airy fairy about spirituality, do you know?
Right.
Um, it's all connected.
Mhm.
Everything is, it's all connected. You're doing an amazing job. And it's courageous to show up and say, I'm going to run for public office so that I can make this change. And there will be people who lead and there will be people that follow those times. And it's really important to, what I'm saying is not expect everybody else to do it. You can play your part on some level. Right.
Yeah.
So what does that look like for people in the community? What would that look like for you? Like if yeah, go ahead.
Well, if since the one avenue where we've encountered some roadblocks, it opened up an opportunity for us to reach out and bring in additional people and start to have conversations to come up with something that's unique and different and engages a bigger audience,
Mhm.
which the more heads,
Mhm.
the better, right? So
Yeah.
we're going to create a new,
More
more
conversations,
conversation, yeah, and
the more energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
a new solution, which could then benefit other communities around
Mhm,
us.
mhm. Think of that saying, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Right,
It can be a problem to do nothing, say nothing, be afraid to have conversations, particularly in a time like this
right.
when everyone knows it's a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what side of whatever you're on.
Raging dumpster fire.
It is. Right. It really is. So you just need to keep having conversations and from those make decisions,
And
better decisions and real accountability, more responsibility of how important it is for us to vote, how
yes,
important for us it is to educate
educated.
ourselves. We just said
Yes,
it together.
yes,
Educate
educated voters.
to educate ourselves when we don't know
Hmm.
who is out there, but to avoid at a time like this
Yeah,
is is not the answer.
and I've had to start approaching life. I've been trying to do this for a couple of years, but it's certainly more important these days. It's not good and it's not bad. It just is. So it's not bad that we had a hiccup in the plan, and it's not good. It just means we need to find another
Mhm,
way.
mhm.
And
And there's always another way. Isn't that the coolest thing?
yes,
I'm trying to get a loan to renovate my house and, it's kind of complicated. Well, we'll give you this on these terms. Well, that's not exactly what terms I wanted. And if you take out more then and you pay off this, then we can do that. And I'm thinking, there's just something I go, well, maybe I just chip away at it myself a little bit because I don't want to take out that much of a loan.
right.
Whatever. It's like you kind of pivot and
Yes,
you find other ways, but you don't give up, you don't avoid, and you don't just stop talking about it.
exactly.
Because even if I'm talking to whatever bank, I have to let them know this is why this is going to work for me and why it's not, because it's going to help other people or the city or whatever,
Hmm.
with the codes and everything.
Yeah.
That's just a small example, something. But whatever it is in your life, it's important to when you get those no's to kind of pivot, change, find another way to get to the good that you want to create in the world.
Hmm. Unfortunately, in society, even when you're young, as you're coming up, nobody tells you to look at the word no differently. Or
Uh-huh.
the way we talk about mistakes is always, oh, you don't want to make a mistake.
Uh-huh.
And actually, that's just doing more harm than good.
Yeah,
How else are you supposed to learn if you don't make some
right, so
mistakes?
I'll do it. That's
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
That's very, very human. You never really have all the ducks in a row,
Hmm.
but if you've got 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 and things are looking well, you acknowledge that.
Sometimes, very few times, let's be honest, okay? I'm going to lay it out there. I don't have my ducks in a row and I just jump in and I do shit. And I'm like, I'll figure it out as I go.
Yeah.
If nobody's going to run for this position, then, well, sure, I'll do it.
Mhm.
Uh,
I love the trust in yourself and the trust you'll swim around that pool and figure it out.
yes.
Because when your intention is good, and again, from a spiritual perspective, you're never alone in that pool,
Hmm.
right? So you will figure out that part of you that knows you can and knows you will. Sometimes it will feel a little fake it till you make it, especially when you're younger. I think
Yeah.
some of this does come with wisdom and time and
Agreed.
experience of knowing, like, wow, I've fallen down 1,000 times and stood up 1,000 more. It's just how life is sometimes. You do get comfortable with that kind of pattern. You just get okay with, I don't even want to say failure, just seeing what didn't work.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. I- I'm sure you've seen the meme. You've survived 100% of your bad days so far. And I even said it to somebody the other day. They were really down. And I was like, no, hey, You got this. This
Yeah.
is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Think back to what your worst day was before this, and you're still here.
Yeah. I love that.
We can get through.
And you're courageous and you did, and you show up and you begin the conversations and you give everybody a platform to speak and feel heard.
Mhm.
And it's interesting how you see energy take form with things like that. Manifesting is a real thing. You know, me, I go directly to what I call God. That's where I go. And that is the first place I go. What I do is I go into prayer, and that's where I ask for guidance.
Mhm.
But manifesting can go either way. You can manifest amazing, amazing things
Mhm.
in the world. You know, like if you think of like if we're talking about politics or spiritual leadership, they all knew, they all had this knowing, right? Or this belief that this is
Believe, yeah.
this belief.
Mhm.
Belief is really a powerful thing. So you think about the politicians who did that and created amazing change
Right.
in our history
Mhm.
and in the beginning when our country was formed.
True.
Amazing. Then you can look to the other side of what people have believed and manifested, and it works in terms of like what our president, like he's
Yeah.
pretty good at manifesting
Yeah.
on the dark
Dark side. Yeah.
That's my opinion
Mhm.
of things, right?
I totally agree with you.
Same thing with terrorists, whatever.
Mhm.
So it's really important for us to stay spiritually again, energetically again, on the light side of things, collectively
Mhm.
again, on the light side of things, because it doesn't take everyone agreeing with you and being on your side. It just takes enough people who are light and
Yes.
good and showing up and talking about what needs to be
Mhm.
different.
So 2 things come up for me
Yeah.
there. 1, I like that idea because not everybody is gonna agree with what you think
Mhm.
is best for you, but if
Mhm.
that's what you think is best, that's great. And you don't need everybody, you just need a couple people to support you. The second thing is
Mhm.
because manifesting is real
Mhm.
and people know that, they like to take advantage.
Mhm.
So you'll see that's all of really that shows up on my Instagram lately,
Yeah,
or
it's a real
like
thing. It's
interact
everybody
3 times and you'll have more money than you'll ever dream of, or pay for this spell and you'll be pretty
And
forever, or
spells,
whatever.
let me just say, are just beliefs
Exactly.
that they're helping
So
focus on a belief.
it's just sad that people will use it to take advantage of other people.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it sours people and they think
Yes.
it isn't real. In actuality, I mean, they could be doing some amazing things if they weren't
Yeah,
jaded.
yeah, yeah. It's sort of like what you focus on expands, right?
Mhm.
If you know that a really linear minded person knows that in one way, and a really spiritual, illogical person, I'm very illogical, it expands the same way,
Yeah.
right? Still
Mhm.
expands. So I just think about the little things that happened this week. I love this little restaurant called Afternoon Delight in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
I went in and it was this blizzardy kind of day. It was like gale force winds, like you'd have
Yes.
off of Lake Michigan in the winter.
Yeah.
And we're in winter. Now the woman at the counter had overpaid me by $5. And I was holding up my hand and she looks at me like, "Oh, what? Did she do something wrong?" I said, "No, actually you overpaid me by $5." And then I carried on and I went and had my amazing lunch and the amazing Afternoon Delight muffins. Shout out to Afternoon Delight. So they have amazing foods and sandwiches. So anyway, we're sitting there. There weren't that many people there. After maybe 5 or 10 minutes, they were getting ready to close. And the same woman put 3, 4 muffins in a bag and gave them to everyone at the tables
Oh.
there. I've never seen them do that. Don't expect to go Afternoon Delight. Don't ask for it. Don't. These are things you just say thank you. You receive it.
Mhm.
But I got this feeling like there was paying love forward in the small ways there,
Mhm.
or running into someone at a gallery the other day, and we both really enjoyed this piece of art, and we could talk about what we loved about it,
Yeah.
and it turned into, is there another one like that? We both just fell in love with talking about the one, and I was like, you should get it. And he goes, no, you should get it. And I thought, well, let's just both get one. And here we are. And so we did. And we went to the counter, and I remember everybody was so happy. Everybody we had just met, and the people at the counter thought, we were married or something, because the energy was really good.
Yeah.
And so every day, to speak to your point of each person, whether it starts with the person and then everything affects the collective,
Mm-hmm.
that those little moments matter. Those little moments are big
Right.
things. And we think that everyone's in fear or against us or whatever. We all have insecurities. But the reality is, most people in the world are really amazing
Mm-hmm.
and good and kind.
Yeah.
And we need to remember that.
Yeah.
And that we're not always going to be going out and coming up against something that we need to fear or something that's scary, because that is a collective belief now,
Right.
because it's been such a shit show
Yeah.
in the political arena and just in
Day-to-day life.
it's been really hard.
Yeah.
On the heels of, we were isolated
Mm-hmm.
with COVID for
Right.
years.
Yeah.
And then a different kind of fear hit us.
Exactly.
Whatever side you're on, I think we can all agree with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone is kind of walking around with this sort of fear, like what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Who's leading next?
Right.
Right. So thank you for being an amazing leader, for one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my best.
Yeah. So showing up, doing your best. It does matter.
A lot of me thinks about what's going to happen, who's coming after me, what's going to happen next. So if we aren't here providing examples of who and how to lead, then what are our kids going to do?
It's hugely important what you're saying, because whatever we decide to do at our best requires responsibility and accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about the greatest spiritual teachers led by how it wasn't just like what they did. How did they speak? How were they? How was their energy? How was that? Why did people follow? Why did it feel so good to follow them? Whoever you follow, whatever you call that name on the door, right?
Feel how they make you feel. I've been having this conversation. You guys are going to think differently of me maybe now. I hate Christmas. I hate the whole, you got to buy special perfect presents for everybody, and then you got to wrap them nicely. Don't get gift cards. Don't use bags. My husband has some very definite ideas about how the house should be decorated. And when you have small children, they're going to cluster all their ornaments in one spot because that's all they can reach. So we continually have this conversation. It's not about the actual decorating of the tree. What they're going to remember is how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And it's obviously not just at Christmas. If they come home from school and they had a bad day, how did you make them feel when they got home? That's what they will remember in the long run.
I love that. I remember when my daughter was little.
Yeah.
I remember consciously saying every time she walks into a room where we haven't been in the same room together, which was a rare thing, I made sure to crouch down, put on my arms and smile. And she would just run to me because I just opened, I mean, that's just one of my favorite memories. But I gotta say, around the Christmas thing, I love Christmas. I think it has to do with how do you approach it? The material, like all the stuff that's not great, the materialism, the being so hectic that you almost forget what it's about, the keeping up with the Joneses. There is that side of it. But if we remember what it's really about, and we can remember to stay present and not too much in the past or the future. Remember, the Buddhists say that our suffering is our attachment can be to the past or the future. I think we stay in the present moment. And I literally, and I'm wrapping a present in the present moment. It reminds me that it can be really joyous. And I really try to make an effort to not be too rushed. Or if I am, just like getting out of that space. So there's something about recognizing when you're going there.
Yeah.
And saying, what is this really about? And reminding ourselves to even do those things, even shopping or whatever you do, creating something that you've made for someone, have it be in the joy. And again, just going back to living purposefully is living what matters.
This is true. I recently, and when I say recently, probably 11 years ago, discovered that I have Jewish heritage, which I always wanted to be Greek or Jewish. So this is really such a moment for me. But, once we had kids, I started incorporating some of those traditions for Hanukkah. And I would say that's what I enjoy more. So just sitting down to play dreidel after dinner.
That's beautiful.
That I love.
It is beautiful. whatever it is for you. I would enjoy sitting down and doing with that with you just as much, because we were talking before we started recording how I love
Could have brought
Judaism.
my dreidel today.
I know, right? I've done that. But it's really just honoring, right? There's no like one way to get to that,
Yeah.
to what matters. And we all have different ways spiritually of doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
It just matters that you do it.
Yes.
Do you know?
Yeah.
It just matters that you find what it is that you value, what it is that you believe in that's good.
This is really resonating because today I was thinking about how oftentimes all it does take is that one little thing for working out.
Huh?
Yeah, I should. I should do a lot of things. I should work out for an hour a day, 3 days a week or whatever. That's just not where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
Can't make that work.
Yeah.
Can I make 10-minute movement breaks happen?
Yeah.
I can. And it does make me feel better.
Yeah.
My husband still thinks like, no, you got to work out for an hour and it will stress him out. And I just can't figure out how to explain to him in a way that he'll understand.
You know,
But I think that goes to spiritual practices as well, or like this just connecting. For a long time, I didn't see the difference between religion and spirituality. We got kicked out of church when my parents got divorced. That created a lot of feelings in me about organized religion. And I just kind of shut down that part of my life.
That is not what Jesus would do. That's what that's what a man-made rule would do.
Right. 100%.
Not meaning men, but just like human.
Right.
Human rule.
So it was a long time before I started even investigating any of that in my life. So it was probably in college. I remember I took a comparative religions class because I don't know, I just got curious all of a sudden. And so I think I know. So through conversations with friends and family, a lot of people don't understand the difference between religion and spirituality. And even if they kind of have some idea, people will still be turned off by the word spirituality. And so I just thought this would be like a good opportunity to talk about. It doesn't mean worshiping a deity. It's more about this
can for some people.
Right. Yeah. It can be anything you want.
Yeah.
And it can just be honoring the knowing within you too. So part of the Living with Purpose podcast is to open up other avenues for people to understand what purpose is and all the different pieces and how they fit together. And you can just make it work for you. You can just do 10-minute movement breaks and still feel good about your health and your body. You can meditate or not meditate or give me something else about finding your purpose. Like you can do these things in small bites and it still is moving you in the direction that you should go.
As long as it's good and healthy and it harms no one and it helps you.
If you are coming from a place of love,
and others.
My affirmations in the morning always include, I choose to see through the lens of love. So even if I have somebody who's coming at me in public comment,
to me spiritual and religious.
Yes. Yeah. So
religions do teach that.
That's
the
true.
common denominator that matters through most religions is love.
Yes.
So you can be spiritual and you can still enjoy some of the ritual that gets you there. There are beautiful things about Catholicism. There are not so beautiful, right? And isn't it the same with everything?
Yes.
Where do you choose to put your energy and your values and as long as it's good and it is that you're wanting, your intention and willingness is to see through the eyes of love. Well, then you've got it down, whatever spiritual teacher ever wanted to teach you.
I think it's the only way to live life. If I have somebody who's coming at me in public comment and saying really awful things to me, for me to get upset is not going to do anybody any good. But to look at that person and see their story and know that I just want to help them heal or at least protect the people around me from that negativity, that's much more powerful than just trying to fight it or debunk or go after.
Attack.
Yes.
Course in Miracles says anytime you're in attack or defense and blame, again, that's a spiritual psychology that sometimes I refer to, one of the many things I study, that anytime you're in attack or defense or blame, there's a mute point. You're not going to get anywhere.
Exactly.
You know, there have been moments, I remember having a boss, I love her. She's quite the diva. And I worked in a gallery when I was very young in San Francisco. And I loved her, but she would sometimes just get really stressed out. I understand. She would just get unhinging. So I don't remember what it was that she was talking to a few of us about, that she was really upset about. But I just knew that she was in such a state that the only thing that could possibly change that was to sit there. I was hearing her, but I just kept saying, love, love, love until I got in the energy of it. I didn't say a word out loud. I was just in the space of saying the word internally,
Mhm.
and my energy was shifting, and then she was feeling it.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the time, people who are acting out, so to speak, are incredibly sensitive people
Yeah. I would agree
who,
with that.
you know,
Yeah.
who, given the alternative of that energy, right? And you
Mhm.
kind of are saying you're doing that. You don't go where they are. That doesn't help anybody.
Mhm.
If a therapist goes to where most of the patients like it
Oh,
doesn't
man.
help.
Yeah.
You have to know, like, in your role of leadership or being that person or that
Mhm.
people come to for that kind of help, it's really important to keep your energy where it needs to be. And just remember that you can change the room with your energy.
Yeah.
You can change a situation by saying that. I literally watched her drop the whole topic and calm down and laugh and giggle at the end. And everything was okay. There were three of us, and I could feel the energy of the fear of the two of
Mhm.
and somehow something reached her.
Yeah.
Something happened. In that moment, my previous boss was angry, and I just decided to bring an alternative energy to that meeting. Now, that being said, when someone is truly unhinged, there's a place in the brain where when anger crosses a line, the person can no longer reason. We've been talking offline about mental illness in this country and how to begin to solve the problems of homelessness and mental illness. And we need a collective energy of hope and action to do so. You know, we can look to other countries, given we have good relations with them. So,
That's powerful.
yeah, it's powerful. But you do it in your way.
Yeah.
Everybody can do. We can do that though.
Mhm.
We can say, "I'm going to take the high road,"
Yep.
even when other people are not, or they're just in a state where they can't.
Can't. Yeah. Mhm.
That's like a whole other topic. We were talking a little bit about the problems with homelessness and mental illness. I've been traveling. I went to Scandinavia, went to Norway. They say the fourth happiest country in the world. Finland, Sweden, incredibly happy people. I did not see these problems in Europe that we have here.
Mhm.
Something's got to change with our systems. The only way that's going to happen is if we do it. Something has
That
to
makes me think
change.
about the cycles, right? The shit show that's happening here
Mhm.
happened in Europe a
Yeah,
long
they're
time ago.
much older countries.
Yeah, so they've already been through this cycle of I don't even know what to call it,
Mhm.
this disgusting cycle,
Mhm.
and they've gotten to the other side. So is that just, the spiritual journey? We're a younger country, so now we're going through that, and eventually we could get to
I think
where
so.
Finland and Sweden are.
I think
I
so,
mean,
but it's like
how
looking at
hopeful is that? That's great.
I love that, but they can be mentors for us in that way.
Mhm.
We're still the superpower who has affected every country
Yeah.
politically. What's been happening here, it has affected other countries. But yes, it is time. Like, what are they doing? How did they fix that?
Mhm.
What do they have going right that we don't with with homelessness, mental illness, education, healthcare? It's important that we look to what's working
Right,
and not just say we know everything.
right. Yeah. Fascism certainly is not gonna get us there.
Right, right.
Step 1.
But yeah, I love what you said though. Every country has had its own incarnations and and experiences and things that they've learned uh, uh, to do better.
Mhm.
That didn't work out so well or tragically.
Right. And it was the collective, the power of the collective that helped make those
Mhm.
changes,
Yes.
and if we aren't taking care of ourselves individually, we're not able to
Mhm.
contribute to that collective,
Yeah.
and then that puts us all behind,
Yeah.
so
And to know that you matter as an individual person,
yes.
you're a wave in this ocean that we're all
Mhm.
in together. So it's so important that you realize, I just can feel it when we're talking. That's me like, I don't know what to do. I don't know that I matter. I don't know where would I start? You just start
Just start.
with, yeah, and you just start with the truth is you do matter.
Mhm.
Whatever your family has told you, whatever your spouse has told you or anyone has ever told you, and that feels the opposite of that, that's not the truth. The truth is you were born a perfect child of God, you do matter.
Yeah.
So when you matter. You may not know exactly what to do with that. So you just go out in the world and you start by being that example of kindness. The world will open doors for you.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed? Like
Oh,
we are both living
absolutely.
our purpose full tilt.
Yeah.
And we know that if you just start with going out, even when you don't know what that's going to look like, your next road is going to look like, that's going to feel purposeful. Because again, it can change.
Yeah.
Then you just begin with that. That is a good feeling. That is a loving, that raises your vibration. Doors will open for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everybody who's listened to this who has and is living their purpose knows that for a fact.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's just a fact.
Totally agree.
It'll happen. And you'll have time to work out a lot more later. Like you've got little ones at home.
Right.
I'm older and it's really one of the first times in my life I love Pilates. I'm doing that 3 times a week for an hour, but I never lived a life where I didn't have the time to do that before. I really didn't. And it took having cancer to knock me on my ass to realize I have to do something different with the physical body. Because like you're really strong on your mental, I think of mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. I've always been really strong spiritually, emotionally, but my physical, my gosh, mental's strong. But the physical is the biggest challenge for me. It remains the biggest challenge for me because I want to be kind of out of body and floating around and
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think about it from the perspective of a perimenopausal woman and what is happening to my physical body and what are the resources and all the stuff that we don't know because we don't know a lot. God forbid somebody put money into research for women's health, which I think Melinda Gates just gave a bunch of money. So shout out.
She did.
Shout out to her for that.
Melinda.
Governor Whitmer commissioned the Women's Council of Michigan, I think. I'd have to look it up again. But for the last year, they have been doing these talks all over the state. And I was lucky enough to get to go to a couple of them. And it's the real pioneers in the field. And they're like, okay, here's what we've uncovered. And there are resources, which is great. But we're behind the 8 ball as far as where we are in our age and what we should have been doing all along to make sure that menopause.
Well, so is the story of women in general, right?
Amen.
But really,
Yeah.
but you're showing up and you're there and you guys are making this happen now. And we're making this happen in different ways.
Yeah.
This is no small task. This is big.
It's huge.
And
it's the health of half of the population.
Yes, exactly. It really is. And it's an important thing and it's a real thing. But there are still a lot of things that women struggle with. Like, I was talking about I had cancer, I had breast cancer. So, you sometimes do wonder if that were a man's disease, would it be different?
Yeah.
I think probably it would have been. So when you say we're behind the 8 ball, that is not always by, and I'm somebody who's very accountable and responsible, but we're still not on the same page, right?
Yeah.
They're not always a fault of our own.
Right. It's the system.
But it's the system.
It's a failure of the system.
It's a failure of the system. But we still get to have voices. We can still be heard. We just need to keep showing up and talking about these things.
The generation of women who are going through menopause right now are really heroes because they are the ones who are saying it. They're putting their hand up and they're like, this is not okay anymore. We need to make a change. So coming up next, I appreciate that. And I will continue to fight that fight for my girls who are coming after me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful. And the things that we do go through specifically as women with our physical bodies is something else. Carrying a child, childbirth. I mean, it's something else. Going through menopause. I mean, you literally are not even in control of your own body, right? But you're just trying to do the best that you can.
Yep.
That's where women are amazing.
We really are. I mean, kudos to us. Woo!
Yes, that's right. That's right. And men have their own inherent, capabilities too.
Let's just
they
point
may
out,
not
though,
experience those in the same way.
Right. They wouldn't be here without us.
I was just thinking that too. Literally would not be here without us. So we're all in this together, and we want to come to the table with the best of what each of us has. And every woman has different gifts, and every man has different gifts. How do you identify what those are? You're going to just know. It's a feeling. You're going to know what they are. If someone were to ask you, like point blank, what are some of your, gifts? You're some things are going to come to mind. If they're not right on the tip of your nose, they'll
Right.
come to mind. And
Yeah.
that's also where you can start
Hmm.
too, in terms like living with joy, and what matters to you will matter to other people.
Absolutely.
It's strange that I always feel like I have to say this disclaimer. As long as it's good, make sure it's like your intention, your willing is coming from goodness and love and
Yes.
connection
Use your
and
powers
honoring.
for good.
Yes, because that is the light, and
Hmm.
wherever there's light, there cannot be dark.
Yeah.
So if enough of us are in the light, then this world is gonna change. It's gonna come
It
back.
has to. Yeah. The darkness we're in right now can't last forever. This is not okay.
It won't. The pendulum will swing back. Something changes in time. I think we will see a bit of a renaissance in our experience
I
here.
believe that.
And to remember that and not see us leave or
Hmm.
so depressed that you're not, you know, making a call to your governor or whatever. You can just do these little things
Right.
every day that can shift the energy.
Hmm.
You individually, listener, can do things that can shift the energy. Don't think that you don't matter.
Absolutely. There's protesting, there's calling your electeds, there's just keeping yourself educated.
Mm,
As long as you know what's going on, that's great. But maybe you figure those things out and you share them with others
mm.
to start spreading.
And know your sources.
Yes.
We're talking about educating yourself. You have to really look to the resources
Right.
and know that they're reputable
Mm-hmm.
and know that they know
Yes.
what they're talking about. And they're usually resources we've all heard of.
There
And we'll have
is
our opinions, but we're talking about for the facts. To
facts.
fact check what your friends are telling you or what you want to know more about.
I have a fantastic resource for this. It's called Ground News. You go to ground.news, but this website, it helps cut through all the noise. It compares coverage from over 50,000 news sources from around the world to make sure that you're getting reliable information. It exposes media bias at the same time. So, which way are they learning? Left, right, center. It's independent, data driven ratings. You know that this is legitimate. Not only are you cutting through the noise, you're exposing the bias, but you're also gaining perspectives. I think that's an important piece for bridging this gap.
Mhm.
We might not always agree, but if you at least understand from multiple viewpoints where people are coming from, then you're likely to not miss the story.
And the actual facts.
Yes. Yep. And be able to
Yes.
find common
And
ground.
this site is not dictated to you by corporate America.
No, actually, it was founded by a small team of media outsiders that are based in
Canada.
Yay,
We love
Canada!
Canada.
It's co-founded by some siblings, actually, a former NASA engineer, and it's backed by a handful of mission-aligned, independent individual investors. No corporate media, no big tech, and no government affiliations. I've really enjoyed this, and it's opened up a lot of conversations.
Thank you,
on my end.
Kate. This is great. People don't know where to start for reputable sources,
It is
you know,
overwhelming.
and facts. And
Facebook is not the place.
it's not. Uh, most of social media is, and probably
Yeah.
with random YouTube videos, even if you really like the guy and he has the 400,000, I don't know, you want to get the facts and come to the table so we can talk about the facts. Well,
Agreed.
and the opinions are great. We all have viewpoints and opinions and have them based on what you know,
Right.
not what you think you know,
Exactly. So,
or even come to the table if that's what you think you know. So
yes.
everybody we can, all course correct.
All right. Well, definitely check it out, and maybe we can talk about some of these articles on a future podcast.
That sounds fantastic.
While we continue to be living with purpose with facts.
Yes, with facts. Yeah. And good feelings, leaning into the feeling of what's purposeful too.
Yeah.
So until next time, we're really enjoying sharing our time with you.
Absolutely.
And talking about purpose.
We'll continue to look through the lens of love as we make decisions and move forward along our predetermined path because it's out there and we don't have to worry about that part.
That's right. Wonderful.
All right.
Fantastic. Until next time.
Absolutely. Bye, Wendy.
Bye-bye.